corridor, corridor. The corridor was long and dark. Conviction, conviction. He spoke with deep conviction. Bundle, bundle. She carried a bundle of newspapers. Gratuity, gratuity. He left a small gratuity for the waiter. Annotation, annotation. The book includes detailed annotations. Sarcasm, sarcasm. His sarcasm hurt her feelings. Instinct, instinct. Birds have a strong survival instinct. Buffer, buffer. The trees act as a buffer against the wind. Archive, archive. The old files were stored in the archive. Gulf, gulf. There is a huge gulf between rich and poor. Drain, drain. The drain is clogged with leaves. Compliment, compliment. She received a nice compliment on her dress. Scent, scent. The scent of roses filled the air. Hurdle, hurdle. He overcame many hurdles in his career. Crook, crook. The police arrested a crook last night. Bid, bid. His bid for the contract was successful. Constellation, constellation. The Orion constellation is visible tonight. Absolute, absolute. He has absolute trust in his team. Flammable, flammable. This material is highly flammable. Aimless, aimless. He wandered the streets in an aimless way. Villainous, villainous. The villainous character scared the audience. Prior, prior. I had a prior engagement. Vibrant, vibrant. The city is full of vibrant culture. Bankrupt, bankrupt. The company went bankrupt last year. Domestic, domestic. She enjoys her domestic life. Primitive, primitive. The tribe still follows primitive customs. Verbal, verbal. We had a verbal agreement. Nosy, nosy. My neighbor is very nosy. To nourish, to nourish. She tries to nourish her body with healthy food. To correspond, to correspond. His words do not correspond with his actions. To eject, to eject. The pilot ejected from the aircraft. To predict, to predict. No one can predict the future. To sustain, to sustain. The bridge can sustain heavy loads. To fold, to fold. He folded the letter and put it in an envelope. To dodge, to dodge. He managed to dodge the falling rock. To contract, to contract. The company contracted a new supplier. To exhaust, to exhaust. The long journey exhausted him. To confine, to confine. The sick dog was confined to a small room. To accustom. To accustom. He quickly accustomed himself to the new environment. To hibernate. To hibernate. Bears hibernate during the winter. To allocate. To allocate. The manager allocated tasks to his employees. To evolve. To evolve. Humans have evolved over millions of years. To discourage. To discourage. His failure did not discourage him. To impose. To impose. The government imposed new taxes. Ancestor. Ancestor. My ancestors came from Europe. Commemoration. Commemoration. The ceremony was held in commemoration of the war victims. Stature. Stature. He gained great stature as a scientist. Dominance. Dominance. The team's dominance was clear from the start. Empathy. Empathy. She showed great empathy for the victims. Scam. Scam. He fell for an online scam. Amnesty. Amnesty. The government granted amnesty to prisoners. Dormitory. Dormitory. I live in a college dormitory. Strain. Strain. The job put a lot of strain on him. Solitude. Solitude. He enjoys the solitude of the mountains. Intruder. Intruder. The security system alerted us to an intruder. Admission. Admission. Her admission to the university was confirmed. Tension. Tension. The tension in the room was unbearable. Correspondence. Correspondence. We kept up our correspondence for years. Witness. Witness. The witness testified in court. Foundation. Foundation. The foundation of the company dates back to 1900. Auditorium. Auditorium. The speech was given in a large auditorium. Outcast. Outcast. He felt like an outcast in his new school. Endangered. Endangered. Tigers are an endangered species. Fussy. Fussy. He is very fussy about his food. Blatant. Blatant. His blatant lie shocked everyone. Crisp. Crisp. I love the crisp autumn air. Sloppy. Sloppy. His handwriting is very sloppy. Serene. Serene. She enjoys the serene atmosphere of the countryside. Rational. Rational. Let's find a rational solution. Idle. Idle. He spent the whole day being idle. Nauseous. Nauseous. The smell made me feel nauseous. Passive. Passive. He remained passive during the discussion. Competent. Competent. She is a very competent lawyer. Illiterate. Illiterate. Many people in the village are illiterate. To eliminate. To eliminate. The company eliminated unnecessary costs. To detonate. To detonate. The bomb was detonated remotely. To immigrate. To immigrate. His family immigrated to Canada. To justify. To justify. He tried to justify his actions. To replenish. To replenish. She replenished the water supply. To adhere. To adhere. He adheres to his principles. To immerse. To immerse. She immersed herself in studying. To generate. To generate. The machine generates electricity. To choke. To choke. He nearly choked on a piece of food. To discriminate. To discriminate. It is wrong to discriminate against people. To acknowledge. To acknowledge. She acknowledged her mistake. To demote. To demote. He was demoted due to poor performance. To foil. To foil. The police foiled the robbery attempt. To garble. To garble. His message was garbled due to bad reception. To groom. To groom. The dog was groomed at the pet salon. To attach. To attach. She attached the file to the email. To wander. To wander. He wandered around the city. Look over. Look over. Could you look over my report before I submit it? Break in. Break in. Someone tried to break in last night. Bail out. Bail out. The government bailed out the failing company. Carry out. Carry out. The scientists carried out an important experiment. Cut back on. Cut back on. He decided to cut back on sugar. Abstain from. Abstain from. She abstains from drinking alcohol. Cave in. Cave in. The roof caved in due to the heavy snow.